Hello and welcome to Yoga, Meditation, and Breathwork with Yogi J. I'm Yogi J here, and today we're going to be doing some work for the shoulders and the neck. Nice, quick little 12-minute flow. You could be in a comfortable seated position like I am, cross-legged. You could have a block underneath your seat to help lift your hips a little bit higher so the knees can settle down. Or you could just find yourself a chair and sit up in a chair. Great way to get started. So, once you find yourself ready and in your comfortable seat, take a little moment to close your eyes and find your breath. We'll start with a little pause. Take some slow, deep breaths in, long, controlled breaths out. Let your belly be soft so the diaphragm can move. And tune in. Welcome yourself to the practice today. Try to let your elbows and shoulders soften a little more as you sit up nice and tall. And let the deepening of the breath help to create alignment within the spine. Each inhale getting a little bit taller. Every exhale maintaining that height as you stabilize the spine, letting the exhale go with control. If you notice any pushes and pulls in the mind, gently acknowledge it. Give a little smile, a little moment of I see you, and then reconnect back with your breath. All right, gently open your eyes. Take your hands to your knees here and gently start to shrug your shoulders. Let them roll around in your shoulder joint. Create some moments of hugging the shoulders up to the ears and then letting them soften down. And then take a little moment to reverse the way you're rolling your shoulders, coming up, back, and around. When you're ready, you can release and gently start to take a couple yeses, lifting the gaze up towards the sky and slowly letting your chin come back down to the chest. You can sync your breath up with the movement, inhaling to lift the gaze, exhaling to lower the gaze. When you're ready to shift gears, bring your head back to center and start to take some nose, gazing over to the left and then over to the right. And as you're twisting the crown, let your gaze shift until you find a little resistance and then change directions. Stay with your breath. Couple more times. And bring yourself back to center. All right, take your hands and interlace your fingers. Draw your forearms together. Another option for this movement as well is if you have a block at home with you, you can take that block, let it go the long way, pin your hands against the short edge of the block and try to draw your elbows in towards one another to touch, flaring the fingertips. And in either variation, you're going to start to draw your elbows down towards your hips and then push the hands and the elbows back up towards the sky. If you have the block between your hands, keep trying to hug the elbows inward. There's not a huge range of movement here, so you're just lifting up and down, bumping against resistance, and then going the other direction. Again, stay with your breath. Let your heart lift and lower as you lift and lower the elbows. And then start to pause at center and push your hands forward and then draw them back towards the face a couple times. Instead of going up and down, now the hands reach forward and back. So whether your hands are interlaced or you're pressing against the block, it's that same motion, forward and back, like you're giving the block or your hands a little headbutt. Keep your forearms hugged together or your elbows hugging in if you're holding the block. I'm going to change gears again here, and we're going to start to pump. So bring your shoulders and elbows back in alignment and start to pump the hands up and down. So instead of slowly up and down, it's more of a pump up and down. You're going to keep pumping here. Pump away. Pump, pump, pump. You likely notice some heat building in the shoulders. Stay with your breath. Again, if you're holding on to that block, keep the elbows hugging in. Almost there. Keep pumping. And then eventually you're going to slow that pump down, pause at center, and then pump the hands forward and back, giving that little headbutt movement again. Again, if you have your hands on the blocks, elbows stay hugging in. And if your fingers are interlaced, forearms together, hug the forearms in. After you finish that last little pump there, you can bring your hands back to center, release the block if you got it, and then shake it off. Roll your shoulders out, take a couple head tilts side to side, shake out the hands. Just some intuitive movement to release the tension and the heat that may have built through the arms. I always enjoy taking my arms out wide for a moment. Big breath in, big breath out. You're ready to shift gears once again. You're going to take your hands down by the sides of the hips, walk your fingertips out, and drill your fingertips into the mat. Go ahead and take your right ear over toward your right shoulder. And gently let your head toggle forward and back as you breathe through the left side of the neck. Just a gentle little movement here as you search for sensation. And then lift your head up to center and take the left ear to the left shoulder, and same thing there. Just letting the head nod forward and back. Take deep breaths as you bring the nod into the practice. You feel satisfied on that side, lift your head back up to center. Take it over to the right side again, and then this time you're going to lift your left arm and let it float around in space, exploring the space next to you with your fingertips. You can bend and extend your elbow, reaching through the fingertips, making fists, and lightening. Again, you're just searching for sensation with your breath. And if you find something, you go, oh yeah, that's the stuff. Just pause there, breathe with it for a moment. And you're ready to go to the other side. You can lift your head up, take the other ear to the opposite shoulder, and then the opposite arm lifts, exploring the space next to you. Again, bending, extending, lifting, and lowering. Flexing the fingertips and then squeezing them into the palm. Roll out the wrists. There's lots of sensation to be found here. Lots of ways to release the neck and the shoulders all the way down to the fingertips. You feel satisfied there. You can lift your head back up to center. Take your chin down to your chest, interlace your fingers against the back of the skull, and then lift your low back up nice and high. And as you hold here for a couple breaths, you're not pushing your head down, you're just letting the weight of the hands rest against the head, breathing into the space between your upper back and the base of the skull, the occipital ridge there. When you're ready, you can lift your head up, let your head rest into the interlaced hands as you gaze to the sky, elbows pull out wide. And here, breathe up into the throat. Use your auxiliary breath muscles in the pectorals and the shoulders and rhomboids as you expand the heart space, opening the throat and using your hands to support the back of the neck. And just as before, when you feel satisfied on your last exhale, come back to center. Let your hands rest against your knees. Take a deep breath in and a big sigh out. With a little pause to just notice the effects of the practice, where you started today and what it's like to be you in this moment. Your shoulders and your elbows soften. Notice all that new space you've created between your earlobes and the top of the shoulders today. Notice as well how the movement side of the practice can affect the mind. Take a little moment to bring your left hand to your right shoulder and brush it off with a little cha-cha-cha. And then right hand to the opposite shoulder, a little cha-cha-cha. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in, deep sighing breath out. Give yourself a little bow. Acknowledge yourself for showing up today. Thank you all for practicing. Jai Bhagwan. Victory and be well.